Hard facts. You're having a hard time in life, and what's on your screen has plenty to do with it. Number 3. The third most popular mind control program in Hollywood film, weak males. We are purposely drowning in a tsunami of highly repetitive weak male role modeling. From Peter Griffin on The Family Guy to Homer Simpson on The Simpsons, our society is being cleverly demasculinized using the very simple mind control tactics I've already reviewed in this film. Remember Howie Mandel and the 3 teenagers? Do you remember how only a few repetitions of the same image changed their behavior instantly, all outside their conscious awareness and without them knowing anything about what was really going on inside their nervous system? Now imagine tens of thousands of images and stories of weak males blasting out from the media every single year for decades on end. What do you think's going to happen to the behavior of the men in an audience after viewing only 100 of these beta male role modeling images? Don't worry, your social engineers already know the answer to that question, and that's exactly why our human farmers control absolutely everything we see and hear in all forms of media and even inside our government school curriculums as well, which they also fully control. Even just look at The Family Guy, as all the men, including the male dog, are portrayed as buffoonish, highly dysfunctional, and lacking of any real male leadership or strength characteristics. We have Peter Griffin, the father, a complete dysfunctional buffoon, absent of anything vaguely male. We have the son Stewie, who is portrayed as a dysfunctional sociopath who often attempts to kill his own mother. Brian is the family dog, who often consumes large amounts of alcohol. Chris is the eldest son in The Family Guy, overweight and completely moronic. As for the female characters in The Family Guy, they're all sharp, scholarly, and well organized, exactly like the female characters in The Simpsons. The contrast between the strong females and the ultra-weak beta males in both these shows help the weak male programming go deeper into the subconscious of the men watching. This has a massive impact on negative male behavior. The endless repetitive content inside this weak male mind control genre is non-stop because it's designed to be non-stop. If we go to The Simpsons, just look at Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, Officer Wiggum, Moe, Barney, Mr. Smithers, or Ned Flanders. Do you see any strength or true male characteristics in these male characters? If you think this is an accident, or that this media review is something that's a little over the top, just look out your own window right now into the real world, and please be honest with yourself regarding the average man walking the streets and what behaviors are most prominent in our collection of males today. It's also not just our cartoon characters who are portraying the worst male behaviors imaginable, it's the real life male Hollywood actors as well. We've all been witness to the large parade of weak male and even infantilized behavior role modeling from Hollywood's favorite class clown actors like Adam Sandler, Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell, Kevin James, David Spade, and Andy Samberg. Not to mention dressing strong males as females in order to keep this weak male repetitive programming fresh inside the fertile collective psyche of our culture. We have The Rock in a dress and wig at the 2009 Kids' Choice Awards, plus The Rock being glamorized with female makeup on the Disney Channel. We have John Cena galloping around the Jimmy Fallon Show as a female, Gene Hackman in The Birdcage, Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie, Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire, Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor, Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's House, Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element, Marion and Shawn Wayans in White Chicks, Kirk Russell in Tango and Cash. Even comedian Dave Chappelle started to notice this ongoing repetitive trend in Hollywood and recounted it on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Why do we believe that Marvel Comics action star Thor took a turn in Avengers Endgame, where invincible Thor had a mental breakdown because he did what men have to do, which is protect the tribe from evil? After Thor's mental breakdown, he became an overweight, beer-drinking, video game-playing, weak male. Are you starting to see any patterns yet? It should come as no surprise that Chris Hemsworth also dressed up as a female on Saturday Night Live, as our social engineers know that repetition is key to subconsciously reprogramming the masses for any behavior which best suits their needs at any given time. If we look at our music, we see the same weak male patterned repetitive content. Sam Smith dressed up in tight red leather, out of shape, and displaying homoerotic behavior at the Grammys in 2023. Lil Nas glorifying homoerotic behavior in jail and throughout most of his videos, which have been seen nearly 8 billion times in their totality. How did a group that represents less than 4% of the world population come to dominate the airwaves like this? You should already know why. From Dee Snider's Makeup with Twisted Sister to David Bowie, it doesn't matter what generation you were in, you would have been subconsciously drowning in all forms of beta male repetitive content. You most likely never noticed it before, but after this film, you'll start to notice it everywhere simply because it's designed to be everywhere and picked up by your subconscious. Our real-life male political leaders are also purposely weak, lacking most or all traditional male characteristics of leadership, courage, bravery, and most importantly, they are absent of being protectors of the weak or vulnerable in their respective societies. Our political leaders in Canada, the UK, France, the Ukraine, and in many other countries are all groomed purposely as the normalized beta male. Gone are the days where our leaders were the same warriors who led our countries into battle if an enemy worth paying attention to presented themselves. From our TV shows to our movies and from our music stars to our political leaders, there are obvious patterns that the subconscious can't and won't ignore in regards to mimicking, copying, emulating, and mirroring the most repetitive content of its environment. This all contributes heavily to the explosion of weak males in our society today. Male behaviors have been socially engineered to be so inverted that we now have weak biological males preying on females in female sports and in female safe areas as other weak males simply sit there and watch, afraid of the mind-controlled government programming that promises punishment if any real male reacts with strength to the open destruction of the female. A real man's cosmic role has always been about protecting anyone that can't protect themselves from any overly aggressive and unnecessary intrusion. Real men are guardians of the good. Real men are a cosmic electrical force designed to stand between that good and any encroaching evil, regardless of cost. Our social engineers have been so effective with this mind control, negative role modeling for men, that weak men are now dressing up as women and intruding upon women in their private safe spaces, including bathrooms, sports, and also in the corporate world. A keynote speaker at a large YWCA event in Alberta, Canada that celebrated female excellence was Faye Johnson, a biological male dressed as a woman. The stage that night and the entire event is reserved for women only. Men have lost their way because they have been socially engineered to lose their way. Our social engineers are even using mind control in our schools to sexually confuse our boys and our girls as well, using the same simple mind control tactics discussed in this film. To control the behavior of any human, you simply need to control the repetitive content in the environment. What's even more disturbing is that a child's mind is many times more impressionable to the repetitive content of their environment. Our social engineers know this and always strike hard at our children with their mind control and brainwashing agendas. Again, please remember, when a mind control expert comes up against an uninformed mind control victim, the mind control expert will always win. From beta male school curriculum to social media algorithms programmed to drive the social engineering agendas of the day, our uninformed and innocent children never stand a chance. And if you think repetitive messaging can't be that powerful to sexually confuse any individual, it's important to pay very close attention to the made-for-Netflix special called The Push, where the same mind control tactics I reviewed in this film were used to make 75% of people in a social experiment commit murder live on camera. If you can get people to commit murder with only 2 hours of mind control, as was done in the Netflix special called The Push, you can certainly sexually confuse children using the exact same tactics, given that the media and government are pushing sexually confusing mind control and brainwashing material on our children every single day of their lives. Nothing we see today is organic or a chance happening. Our children aren't being born this way in these growing percentages. They're being groomed, mind-controlled, and socially engineered to be this way. Our society's ethical, moral, and foundational collapse is being purposely organized and orchestrated from the top down by some of the darkest minds our world has ever known. It's time to grow up and bravely face what's really happening. Media purposely drowns our society in repetitive weak male behavior imagery, while the government rewards these socially engineered behaviors decided upon in corporate boardrooms decades ago. Our children are given more attention, safety, and security if they declare themselves sexually confused in government school, therefore taking advantage of our natural human genetic need to always seek what feels safer. It's a psychological mind control ambush that very few teachers, students, or parents understand. A society of weak males is easier to lie to, manipulate, bully, steal from, govern, control, and rule tyrannically. With a society full of weak beta males, everyone can be bullied without fear of reprisal. This is why our social engineers want this end result. This is what beta male mind control is all about. It's all about weakening our society and rebranding the entire drive as social justice, equal rights, inclusion, equity, child safety, entertainment, and everything else that threatens the natural order required for any culture to maintain its strength, evolution, and peaceful presence in the world. Number 2. The second most popular mind control program in Hollywood film, alcohol. Sometimes a mind control program can be so effective at changing people's perceptions regarding what's normal, it can feel like there's no way back. Once the repetitive content of any environment hits a very particular repetition threshold, that manufactured belief or behavior can reach what I refer to as Kevlar level strength mind control. At that point, it becomes just the way things are, and just the way we do things around here, and people generally can't comprehend a life without that particular belief or behavior being constant in their lives. Alcohol definitely falls in this category, and that's why it's everywhere. It's in every restaurant. It rolls down the middle of the aisle on every airplane. It's at every sporting event. It's at every concert, and it's in every hotel minibar. There's one problem though. Alcohol is poison, and its consumption only benefits the mind control experts who have organized this cross-generational mind control campaign. Alcohol causes cancer, a premature death in any amount consumed, birth defects, liver disease, digestive disorders, and brain damage, just to name a few of the desired side effects that our social engineers want for the public. Why is so much effort placed into mind-controlling people to consume alcohol poison? Simple. You can't rule healthy, organized, and powerful people. Yet, you can rule sick, disoriented, and diseased people. You can't farm lions, only lambs. The average person can't envision living life without this popularized and normalized poison. Beyond that, most folks would never believe that this self-destructive, self-poisoning, and self-weakening ritual was impregnated into them by ancient ruling groups hiding behind media and government. Death as a result of guns in the Western world usually ends with some form of gun confiscation or gun ban campaign. Deaths as the result of alcohol brings nothing, because a society without alcohol is a society that can't be ruled, governed, stolen from, manipulated, and lied to. I used to drink alcohol as well, but not because it made my life better. I consumed large quantities of alcohol because I also have a subconscious mind that can be hacked in the exact same way that I already described in this film. If you don't know how mind control works, and if you don't know how to defend yourself from it, the mind control expert will always win, and this applied to me in my youth as well. Although more and more people today are understanding that quitting alcohol is a full-spectrum, strength-building, instant life improvement win, we still have large tracts of the population deep under the alcohol mind control spell. Alcohol poisoning is a real medical term because alcohol is a poison by definition. There is no cauliflower poisoning or broccoli poisoning, and yet the alcohol mind control spell has made it so that people can't seem to survive without poisoning themselves with this toxic chemical. This mind control spell works like any other. Our social engineers control the repetitive content of our media, and we engage in the monkey see, monkey do psychology that is inherent in our very genetic makeup. It doesn't matter what mind control campaign you're looking for in each film or TV series you watch, it will usually make an appearance in the first 20 minutes of the production. Let's apply this 20-minute rule to a couple random productions I decided to view on Netflix. Let's start with A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. This may seem like I'm dealing from a loaded deck because this film was about an alcoholic rock star, but you'll see that alcohol mind control programming is in the vast majority of movies, regardless of plot. In the first 11 seconds of A Star is Born, we see Bradley Cooper taking a drink before he goes on stage. After the concert, the drunken character Jackson Maine gets into his limo and starts drinking. There are 2 scenes in the limo where Cooper is drinking, which counts as 2 alcohol imprints or suggestions inside the subconscious. The subconscious counts each bottle and each action of drinking as separate repetitions toward figuring out what behaviors to mimic, copy, mirror, and emulate. Cooper then enters a bar where the alcohol imprints go supernova in the subconscious. Eventually, that scene shifts back to a dressing room in the back of the bar where there's more drinks to be downloaded into the viewer's subconscious. We then shift to a second bar for at least 100 other alcohol imprints before the first 20 minutes is even over. How many repetitive themes or pictures are needed to change human behavior by activating group pressure alliances? The answer is 2, and we have hundreds of separate alcohol imprints in the first 20 minutes alone. The subconscious also doesn't know when one movie begins and another screen production ends. The subconscious also doesn't know the difference between real life, what's on a screen, and imagined thought. The subconscious just keeps counting and recalculating what behaviors, beliefs, and ideas you need to mimic in order to find safety and security where you are at any given moment. Let's say that you watched a trailer for the movie Dirty Grandpa, a film with Robert De Niro and Zac Efron, before you watched the movie A Star is Born. Let's do a very quick rundown of how many alcohol imprints are just in the trailer for Dirty Grandpa. I will stay quiet, but highlight each alcohol imprint.
Can you take my car, sweetie? I need the SUV for the wine.
possibly address in this documentary. If we see garbage, we become garbage. This is all by design. This isn't an accident, and these movies are vehicles for mind control programs, not for your entertainment. Hollywood studios aren't competing with each other to produce the best films. They're ambushing you in a mind control crossfire, and they're all working together to accomplish the exact same objectives. Hollywood isn't about bringing joy to the masses. It's about making the masses a joystick for the ruling group because of their collective expertise in ancient brainwashing and mind control tactics that keep the ruling group in power. The ruling group maintains their power by tricking you to destroy your own. It's that simple. You live on planet mind control. Number 1. Let's talk and review first, because this will be very hard for most people to handle. I've left number 1 to the end for a reason, simply because it holds the greatest potential to make most people say, no, that's impossible. Before I describe this extremely effective mind control agenda, which is designed to make you consume large quantities of this very particular psychoactive substance, let's first review one final time the Howie Mandel mind control hack on America's Got Talent. In that mind control hack, orchestrated by mind control expert Max Major, he used 6 symbols of the sun, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, plus 5 phonetic 4s hidden in other words.
As I performing is my dream, and you can just hold that comfortably in your lap. But before you do that, okay, are you up for it? I'm connected. All right.
Max Major carefully crafted what Howie Mandel would see and hear in order to force Howie's subconscious to find safety and security in drawing a sun and picking the 4 o'clock on the watch. That's how easy it is. That's how you're designed to work. The fact that you don't know anything about this doesn't make it any less true. Yes, you know nothing about it, but the people who rule this place and engineer your behavior from on high, they know everything about it. Without their mind control spells weaved into every environment that you come into contact with, they can't stay in power. Yes, it's that big of an agenda, and you're living right in the middle of it, believing each decision is organic to yourself, your aspirations, and your dreams in life. Unfortunately, most of what you're deciding in a day is in no way organic to you, not by a long shot. The repetitive content in your media is placed there purposely to drive you in one particular direction or another, again, all outside your conscious awareness. Simple psychology rules your life. Monkey see, monkey do. As a mind control researcher, it's very easy for me to watch hundreds of films and TV shows to tabulate what media images, patterns, and messages are the most frequent. By watching for the most frequent content, I can easily reverse engineer what mind control campaigns are priority number 1 inside the plans of the ruling group. In essence, each separate agenda holds the same base foundation, which is the overall weakening of humanity in order to more easily rule over the brain-damaged, diseased, depressed, disoriented, and financially destitute population. Saying that, it appears that our human farmers do hold some mind control programs more valuable than others. The most frequent disempowering imagery, by extension, is the most important to the ruling group, and that's how we've come to the number 1 item on our list today. The most repetitive imagery, hands down, in all Hollywood film is, drumroll please, coffee. There are also firm reasons why this disempowering mind control campaign is more important than others in the eyes of our human farmers, but that explanation as to why they want you drinking coffee, I will leave for last. These coffee images are easily observed within the first 20 minutes of any film. We'll have either A takeout coffee cup, B, a clay coffee mug, C, a coffee machine on the back counter, either a more expensive espresso machine or a lower cost percolator, or D, the movie or TV scene will say coffee consumption important mind control campaign scene and categorizes it at lightning speed. Although the estimates differ, the subconscious is believed to download 11 million pieces of data per second, while your conscious mind can only download 140 pieces of data per second. Once you finish this documentary, you will consciously see these images and patterns everywhere when you return to your regular screen watching routine, which of course is designed to program you into the absolute messiest version of yourself. Your betters use their magic so that you voluntarily destroy your magic. Let's just take a random film on my Netflix menu, just picking at random here, Leave the World Behind. Let's dive in and remember it's proven that a mind controller only needs as little as 2 repetitions of the same theme, pattern, or message to nudge the mind control victim to adopt that theme, pattern, or message as their own. Oddly enough, this movie is a mind control programming buffet that could only be fully analyzed in a documentary of its own, but for now, I will focus strictly on the coffee programming. The movie opens up with Ethan Hawke's character just getting out of bed. We see his coffee mug on the bedside table to our left. His wife in the film, Julia Roberts, chimes in to say,
"It's right by your coffee. Make it just the way you like it."
As the family is driving out to the vacation home they rented, the daughter is watching Friends on her iPad, and of course the image is of the Central Perk coffee shop. Yes, Friends was a major transport mechanism for coffee consumption programming in its day, as well as every other popular mind control campaign of that era. As the family is driving, the daughter asks,
Dad, when we get back to the city, can you take me to see the coffee shop in Friends?
As the family enters the kitchen of the rented home, we quickly see a percolator coffee machine on the back counter and the corner of an espresso machine on the adjacent counter. Yes, of course, most people have 2 coffee machines in the home, plus 2 kettles as well. We see the first kettle on the stove, which is more of a coffee reference than a direct coffee imprint, but it does add to the pro-coffee downloads picked up by the subconscious. As Julia Roberts visits town for some groceries, we see the word coffee. There's often some kettle that also coffee machine is very quick at her own cup. The espresso fall Friends and earth to the boring coffee cup in absolute review what caffeine is proven to do to your body and to your brain. Let's start with how your brain changes after you consume only a small amount of caffeine or coffee. Do you think it's easier to mind control people who only get half the normal blood flow and oxygen to their brains? Although this estimate was eyeballed at a 40% reduction of oxygen to the brain,
it's like a 40% drop in the blood flow to your brain. So that's a lot.
So before caffeine, with caffeine, the blood flow to my brain dropped about 40%?
40%.
Really?
The general consensus is somewhere between 21 and 30%. Do you think you personally could navigate life successfully with such a dramatic decrease in oxygen and nutrients to your brain? Look out the window today. Do you see anyone showing any signs of brain damage regarding their decisions, beliefs, or ideas in life? Would this slow drip brain starvation effect have anything to do with the fact that this coffee-based mind control campaign represents the #1 most frequent imprint in all Hollywood film? As a mind control researcher, I think the end goal here is pretty obvious. In Aldous Huxley's book, Brave New World, there was a sedative opiate sold on every corner called Soma. This widely consumed drug, provided by the state, was offered everywhere to psychologically appease the tyrannically controlled citizen as politicians go out of their way to drive spontaneous abortions, Crohn's, colitis, diverging, cardiac arrhythmia, anemia, diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, liver damage, parasite and bacterial infections, psychosis, compromised immunity, accelerated aging, cardiac arrhythmias, epilepsy, insomnia, fibromyalgia, DNA mutations, and all the cancers that go along with that, potential low sperm counts, and testicular atrophy, SIDS, and birthing complications. When is the last time your doctor asked you how much caffeine you were consuming or compared your ailments with this long list of known side effects associated with moderate or even low-level caffeine coffee consumption? Why do hospitals sell coffee or caffeinated beverages? Other than caffeine, is there any poison in the entire world that causes this many separate diseases, dysfunctions, and cancers? Why is no one talking about this whatsoever? Why is coffee on every corner? Could it be that we're drowning in poisons, toxins, and disease-causing compounds of all types because mind control makes us rabid consumers of them? What sort of population is more easily controlled, governed, and perpetually abused? A weak population or a strong one? Your human farmers already know the answer. For them to stay on top, you need to stay small, mediocre, sick, stupid, weak, broke, disempowered, infantilized, dependent, and dysfunctional. Mind control through media and government channels is how the ruling group makes all this happen. In fact, the word government itself is derived from the Latin gubernate and the word mens, which means to control or direct the mind. In conclusion, you only have 2 choices for your life direction given how your human neurology is designed. You can either allow the inverted, repetitive content of your black magic media magicians to program you for absolute disaster, or you can hack your own behavior system and reprogram for something better. Please remember that repetition wins the day regarding what life you'll eventually build for yourself and your loved ones in the future. Yes, I completely understand that you're currently heavily front-loaded with liarrhea-based inverted repetitive content from inverted government and media sources, so of course, there's a good chance that your life isn't thriving at the moment, and that's okay. That means you're working as designed. You were never broken. It was never you. It's them and their dark, devilish goals, which they perpetually program into you via these extremely simple, yet highly effective mind control techniques. To start winning in life, you'll need to initiate the process of decluttering your mental hard drive in order to deal with the negative programming that you've already absorbed. After you turn down the negative incoming content, you can certainly win the repetition battle by upregulating your own personal and positive content in the direction of your particular dreams, aspirations, and desires. That means you need to fully understand that modern-day pop movies, TV shows, music, and social media feeds aren't there to entertain you, educate you, or make your life better in any way, shape, or form. Your government schooling as well was always designed as a vicious first strike against your future success and creative potential. Government schools' documented goal is to destroy your innate human potential through the use of disempowering negative content. You can explore this fact in the book Weapons of Mass Instruction by the late and former government school teacher John Taylor Gatto. There's also a reason the music and your fake laughter-laden morning show is free on the radio. There's a reason government school is offered as something paid for by the state. There's a reason unlimited Trashfire media on Netflix is only $20 per month. There are reasons for each pop culture TV show on your mainstream media channels, and it's not for the betterment of you and your family on any level. In fact, it's the opposite. There's a saying, if the product is free or if it comes at a very small cost, it's most likely that you're the product. If your mind control programming came with a big price tag, you may avoid it. That would be bad for the ancient ruling families masquerading as your altruistic governments who need you to be perpetually attached and plugged into their mind control media downloads. To win in life, you'll need to take action and turn down the negative tsunami of disempowering themes, pictures, and messages from mainstream media and government as you turn the positive content up. The most repetitive content will determine your life. It's either their garbage, negative, and disaster-based content, or your own uplifting, positive, and success-based content. There is no door number 3. If you don't know where to start with your personal health status, your weight, your daily health habits, and what you eat and drink. I can also help you get started if you reach out. I do conduct free public teachings several times per week. I also